evaluation is there. They say they take that as 50%, but I doubt they may take it 100% to evaluate the teachers. And on the basis of that itself, they will see whether the teacher has to be kept or no. It's like that.
Ma'am, again, to repeat my point, again, most of the universities or any kind of academic institutes, again, they are actually business models. So the customers are not known but the students. So the students' feedback are given uttermost importance, and then based on that only the policies are being formulated.
Yeah.
And every time there is a kind of a feedback or something, there has to be an update in the policy, and these policies are being formulated based on extensive research.
Actually, we cannot blame the university authorities or whoever, because we need not take negatively also their points, because they also have to show their as you said, brand name, or they have to improve the university's point.
Ma'am, it is again an interlink. Once the university improves, the teachers are also taken care.
Exactly.
Yeah. So the facilities improve, the universities improve, the ranking improves, everyone improves. So
Yeah,
it's a
and
kind of
everybody wants to be on the top.
yeah, it's a kind of a win-win situation.
Yes, yes.
It is cyclic, sir. Absolutely, it is cyclic. Yeah. So
We were just taking over your point, and you can continue, sir.
yeah, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for this stopgap arrangement. Wonderful, and you pitched in and you did something for me, because actually, I did not charge my mobile. Then what happened? It went off. Then again, I reconnected and again.
Okay, sir.
Sir, mobile charge order. See, again, these sessions will be charged for us also.
Thank you, sir. And again, we were just, I was presenting on this research writing and why. So this research, why should we do research? And research like and again, it is something like our bread and butter. I should say.
600 minus 24.
And we cannot. We cannot.
Navakala, ma'am.
Valli, ma'am.
Nagatala, ma'am.
I think Valli madam can mute her. Okay, not an issue. Then we'll go.
Sir, even I had to charge my.
Please, ma'am, go ahead.
Even I had to charge my laptop.
Oh, please.
Yeah.
And again, think that we do research in order to survive in the market, and again, otherwise to cater to the needs of our Shivaji sir has actually rightly pointing out the customer delight. In order to achieve the customer delight, who are all the customer delight? Who are all our customers and stakeholders? The paid customers are our students in the classroom, and again, even our scholars. Otherwise, let's say, the second stakeholders are our parents, and again, this let's say the other stakeholders like vendors and again suppliers to this university.
Sir, add to alumni also, sir. Alumni are also stakeholders.
And customers and recruiters and again alumni and again all these people become our direct and indirect associates or business associate. We are supposed to have this kind of quality control as well as this customer delight should be achieved through this research. And so research is something like mandatory, whether we are running a hotel like Saravana Bhavan, otherwise let's say even running a shop like a small petty shop kind of thing, otherwise ranging from the ordinary shop to biggest 5-star hotel and the ordinary shop to biggest hyper mall and again 24/7 this let's say convenience stores, whatever it is, people will have to do thorough and hardcore research. Without doing research, supply chain management cannot be managed. Otherwise, let's say quality control cannot be done. Otherwise, customer delight can't be achieved, and no progress will be there. No research, no development. So that is the mantra. So let us understand this thing, because research means understanding what has been there, what is there, understanding the field, any chosen field for that matter. For that, what has been said and done in the particular field of study, chosen field of study, we need to have a thorough knowledge in that thing. And what has been said and what has not been said, we need to read in between lines and understand, and again address the issues. Otherwise, it's fine tune and polish, and again reinvent, and again revisit the old stuff. Otherwise, something doing in creatively, otherwise innovatively approaching the stuff. That is what is all about research. And for that, no, thorough reading plays a very vital role in when it comes to research. Any teacher, otherwise anybody, let's say, who claims to be an educated person, means that person, he or she has to read. No other go. That reading maketh the full man. That's why again we are going back to this Francis Bacon's point. Reading is something brain exercise. It is very demanding. Everybody knows it. And again, unless and until we exercise our brain, new ideas will not pop up. And for that, why people hate reading, otherwise why people do not read much, means because understanding problem, especially when it comes to English language. People do not have this kind of understanding. Not only English language, anything and everything, all the subjects. Let's say it is Python, otherwise C, C++, Java, otherwise let's say artificial intelligence, otherwise deep learning, machine learning, and any subject, any topic for that matter. What is essential is understanding the concept. For that, it is something like a very demanding thing. For understanding a concept, and again conceptualizing, and again adding something new knowledge, means we need to have a thorough and hardcore thorough understanding of what has been said, what has been done, what has not been said. That is what exactly we get it as a research gap. So most important thing in this thing is literature survey. What is literature? Whatever has been said and done in that particular field of study is called literature. Above the earth and below the earth, and again whatever has been said and done, everything comes under research. Sorry, everything comes under literature. Literature doesn't mean only confined to only poetry, prose, drama, such thing. Anything and everything has been written in that particular chosen field, in terms of journal, in terms of books, and again let's say reviews, and again review journals, whatever it is, that part that comes as a otherwise books, that becomes otherwise no secondary material. Everything becomes a part of let's say thesis. All these things become part of the review of literature, otherwise literature review we call it. So very very essential. And again even the data, whatever data has been available by other researchers, fellow researchers, also what has been said and done and formulated, everything comes as a part of the literature. So everyone, it is known why there is a huge divide between this 1% and 99% is. 50% of the people, they stay updated by reading thoroughly, otherwise understanding their craft, otherwise understanding their chosen field of study so very well, and that is how they become extraordinarily brilliant, and they excel in life. The 99% of the people, they struggle to read, and again struggle to understand, struggle to decipher what has been done, how this field is growing, what is next in this particular field, what is next, and what is trendy. They fail to catch the trend. But whereas the 1% who reads consistently and constantly and make it as a habit and practice it every day, they stay ahead and catch the trend. They become the number one in that particular chosen field. So this is something like a very very essential for any researcher. Researcher means a person who reads. And say for example, for reading, I will give you some of the examples. And say for example, Dhanush, he's an actor and very popular, and again he's a multifaceted personality, like a singer, and a story writer, director, and a distributor, and movie maker, director, and a writer of, and again a writer of story, and all these facets of this is possible for what is that on this. What his name I said that Dhanush, it is all because of his learning, and he has understood this entire cinema field. And again, but prior to this, no, what he is now, prior to this was is a different different thing. Let's say he was very reluctant, he was very shy, and not no getting along with the even actor or actresses. He, because lack of English knowledge, first thing. Because in those days you see this people, even today also it is most trending thing that normally we bring actresses from North India for this Kollywood. Then what happens? Tollywood. And again, this is something like, no, the people from especially Mumbai and Kolkata, otherwise Delhi, these area people will speak very good English. But Dhanush was not well equipped with English language, so whenever the shooting is done, immediately he will go and get no. He will go and get inside this caravan. Otherwise, no, he will go to his caravan, and he will feel very much no down. But whereas no, his wife Aishwarya, she made him to read books. It has to come in the interview form of interview on this one of the TV show. He has read 900 books. You imagine the stock of no the books he has read. Why I'm saying this thing means that has made him as a writer, creative writer. Otherwise, he writes poetry, he juggles so many uh, 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 hats to his feathers to his cap, I should say. And again, different hats he swaps. So, which means that is all because of no this kind of reading, voracious reading. And again, say for example, another best example is smart. A smart actor as well as a hard worker. The smart worker and hard worker. Let's say smart worker is Rajinikanth. Simply, you will find that he will very nice. Whereas think about Kamal Hassan, he works so very hard. What is the latest trending thing in that is camera, the cinematography, otherwise editing, otherwise makeup, all these things A to Z, the choreography. What is that the most trending thing he catches in this thing, and best of the best editors and best of the best what is that storyline, and again choreographer, everything, a collage of, otherwise a mosaic of all the things he puts together and acts. Whereas no, come on, Rajinikanth is smart. You see the thing, he other he joins with the best of the best people. He doesn't go and invent. That is how some smart work is possible, but not always it will click. Whereas no, hard work is very very essential when it comes to stay on the own legs. So that is very very important, especially when it comes to reading. No compromise. One more example I will like to tell you, that is Warren Buffett. He reads minimum 500 to 800 pages a day. That keeps him so very agile, and again so very vibrant, even after in his no, he is in his 80s, 87, 88, 89 around, but he is so very agile. And again he takes the regular food, and again takes no, he takes care of the entire business. He is the chairman and founder of this what is that this Berkshire Hathaway, this wonderful number top-notch company of this world. And again, one more example I will tell you. The best of the best example is Kalaignar Karunanidhi. He was wheel-bound. The thing that kept him so very live. And again, he read a lot. He kept writing for this what is that Morosoli, and again he wrote so many things. Even before his death, also he wrote that Ramayana. That what is that? That one story, a beautiful story. No, Krishna Avadara, I believe. That was the he wrote that episode, several episodes for this last time also. That is the last leg of his life. So please remember, those who keep constantly reading and exercising as I told you, reading is an exercise, brain exercise. Those who read extensively and do something, writing especially, writing will make more agile. The brain, no, the brain will become more agile and active, provided if we write something. That is what keeps them, see, that is what kept them going throughout their life. And say, for example, the one more best example would be R.K. Narayan. He lived, and again his brother, this brother, what is his, Lakshman. You see, though he was no, doing this caricature, like, drawing and other cartoonist, and again famous cartoonist, he kept practicing, and again kept doing research on how to make a better caricatures, otherwise better cartoons. Okay, Narayan, think about Kushwant Singh. Kushwant Singh also did the same way. He lived very, very long, legendary life. And except, this, we few people, you could see that people lived a very, very long and legendary life because of their reading and writing. And Wali, for that example, Wali is a poet in Tamil, filmed them, and he wrote, no, say for example, from MGR to Shivaji Ganesan to latest, what is it, Kamal Haasan to Rajinikanth, he wrote songs, movie songs, even for latest, you name anybody, Vijay, Ajit, all these people. It shows that generation to generation they could sustain this position because of their thorough and hardcore research, especially reading. Most important thing, they kept themselves, whether it is you name any genre of songs, whether it is philosophical song, otherwise something like masala song, otherwise some entertainment song, everything, varieties is the spice of life. So any variety, any genre, they were able to write something, means it shows that caliber. How they developed all these things, virtue of practice, consistently and constantly they were at it. That is what their secret behind that legendary performances, and again they left a legacy behind them. So this is what my humble submission to this forum. Especially we are in the field of teaching and learning, and without learning no development will be there. So for learning, and we need to definitely do a hardcore research. And again, because without research, if we start teaching and teaching, that will become a futile thing, because without research we start teaching for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years also, that is kept aside. Nobody would recognize a teacher who has not done research. That is what my humble submission. So it is better late than never. Let us start and do focus on research side, because research is the key for growth and development. It is not only for the individual, it is for the society, and it is for the world. So it is for the nature. And again, it is something like research is what is that, it is something like a fulfillment of the sixth sense. Again, that is what I should say. So most important thing in our life is that we need to uh, we need to learn to read a lot, and again do this extensively. This we have to have this go dive deep into the research field of research, and let us learn to do research and develop. So what is research again? We'll go back to this first thing again, going back to the square one. What is that? What has been said and done, we need to know, and again we need to formulate, and again like adding new knowledge to the existing knowledge. How this new knowledge can be added, unless and until we know that something has been said and done. If we repeatedly say the same thing, then nobody will like it, otherwise relish it. So we need to slightly modify, otherwise innovate, and again add new knowledge to the existing knowledge. That is what is considered as research. When it comes to, let's say, in the field of science and technology, suppose some one fan is running with 1 unit of current per hour, means, let's say you reduce it to this less than 1 unit per hour, means that itself is a great breakthrough. Because let's say in an organization, otherwise institution, there are what, 2,000 fans, otherwise 20,000 fans are running. Less than let's say you we reduce this consumption, power consumption, to less to lesser, even one less than 0.1%. That is hoping, otherwise surging amount, I should say. It's a big huge amount of saving when it comes to huge industries. That is what, again, now you see this latest updates when it comes to WhatsApp, Facebook, otherwise Twitter, you name any software for that matter, everything is no and everything is undergoing research, thorough and hardcore research. change is permanent. That is what the beauty of life. Change is permanent. That's what Krishna Paramatma also says in what is that Bhagavad Gita. Change is the norm, new norm. And again, we need to catch the trend by getting abreast of the new knowledge and acquiring the new knowledge in the any chosen field of study. That's how we need to be the trend catcher, and by catching the trend, we can always be a pioneer in any field of any field of study. So this is of paramount important. One is reading. And again, reading definitely no, because of reading we do this brain exercise and all, getting new knowledge, otherwise matching our knowledge with the other people's knowledge is something like conference. We need to go to the field of what networking, and again by getting connected and staying with the forums, and for especially for professional development, we need to go and know whatever our learning, new knowledge we have acquired, and we need to go and present it to the same like-minded people as well as right-minded people, and match our knowledge with the others. What do the people say about whatever findings? And again, the new findings, whatever we have done through our research, that has to be presented, and again that has to be vetted. Our ideas should be vetted in front of the people. That is the one yet another thing. And again, that is how we get to get connected with the best of the best minds in our field. Maybe same fellow researchers we will get to know, otherwise some senior researchers, otherwise a new budding researchers. Because whatever we do, this is not a be all end all, because no research is complete. So we try to address that something like a big ocean is there, but we stay somewhere in one part of the seashore, and again just washing our legs, otherwise keeping our right foot, otherwise best foot forward in the water of the ocean, big ocean. That is what is all about research, our contribution. But there is the huge ocean is waiting out there to be explored. Unexplored areas are so many, so much is there. So what is that we need to do? We need to have this kind of humility and humbleness. Then only we can pay heed to what the other people say. That kind of humility and passion should be there. And the passion is something very very important skill, one of the most important skill for a researcher. So let us go ahead, and anything and everything we do, it should be time bound. So time management is also so very important for research, because that is what is of very very important thing in but because record time we have to roll out our papers, and again journal paper, otherwise even PhD thesis, whatever it is. So let us go into this no let's say research further deep. So first thing is uh, how to write a literature review. This everybody knows. Why to write a literature review? In order to find out what has been said, what has not been said, and again what could be done. That is what is no we get to know by doing this literature survey. And for this we need to have the habit of reading a journal paper every day. Every day without reading a paper we should not go. Why? By reading one paper we will get one idea. One idea will change, one book will change, one research paper will change, otherwise one lecture will change our life. That's what I repeatedly say. So in order to get new ideas, new innovative thinking, otherwise a different thinking, this kind of getting associated with the forums, and again continuous and constant professional development will help us to go dive deep into this research field of research and development. That is yet another thing I want to register here. So most importantly, this literature review will help us to understand the concept and what has been promulgated, and again what has been said. That is that could be understood by reading a lot and writing the review papers. Is a beautiful thing for the budding researchers, and not only budding researchers, anybody who wants to explore the unexplored areas, otherwise any new novel area. This kind of writing review paper is the best thing anybody could attempt. Then again, by doing this, we get to know the new ideas, otherwise novel ideas, otherwise what has not been explored. So we can take it up and do explore in a much different way. That is one thing. Then second, why see what is that methodology? Otherwise, no, how to go about doing
Sir,
this?
Saravanan sir,
Yes, sir.
Sir, sorry to interrupt you here. So
Please, please.
one more point about literature survey, which I need to make here is
Please, sir.
most of the people actually they actually have a problem in writing the literature survey, because once you read a paper, you need to summarize it and write it in your own way
Well said, sir.
or
Well
your
said.
own words.
Hmm.
So now, to decipher that particular article and then to write it in your own way, that takes a lot of time and it's a challenging task.
Really challenging. Very, very
Yeah,
crucial.
and and the most common mistakes which the people make, based on since I am a reviewer for so many journals,
Absolutely.
most of the common mistakes which people make is the sentence formation is not proper. Since we are talking about ELT, I want to make this a point that the people actually suffer,
True, sir.
or maybe they are thinking in their own mother tongue and they directly translate it on the paper, which might not convey the exact meaning. And also, with reference to Nakala ma'am, she was pointing out that there is a significant point that most of the people, they actually lag in kind of exploring the new things.
Absolutely. Correct, sir.
And this is one way, and there are also a few people who actually take the help of tools which are like Grammarly and all these things. Again, let me tell you some of the disadvantages of using Grammarly. Again, though you might have a very good it might check the basic grammatical mistakes, but again, the sentence formation or the idea which is being conveyed might not be properly formulated.
True, sir. Agreed, agreed.
So these are some of the points which I had to make. And one more point which you were talking about is the review papers. Sir, it is not only for budding researchers, and even for most of the researchers, because the review papers has more citation than a proposed paper.
Wonderful input, sir. Thank you.
So these are the things which I wanted to put across, and sorry for interrupting you, sir.
No way, sir. No way. It is a forum. You are most welcome. Don't be so formal, sir. You are always in. No, you are most welcome to stop me anytime. I
No,
don't.
because you were in a flow, so I was just trying to interrupt you.
No, always you can stop me anytime, anywhere. I don't feel deterred. Otherwise, feel bad about my this kind of no. It's a really
But
wonderful.
since we have been associated for so many years, I took that liberty.
I love it, sir. Really, really, really. Wonderful point. Especially as you mentioned, no, rightly. These review papers are a wonderful thing for even the experienced people, as well as
Saravanan sir, one more point, please, throw some light on is when you're writing this literature survey. Now, can we when we do the literature survey or the entire paper, generally we do a proofread of it.
correct,
So
correct.
this particular proofread is actually for a grammatical check or for the technical check that whether our idea is being conveyed in a proper way.
Correct.
Now, most of the techniques which actually we follow is either you try to select the team members who are really good in English, or you try to get help from the third party who's your colleagues in the English department.
True, sir. Yeah, that's how things are happening. Yeah.
Yeah. So now, but many people here, they actually hesitate to approach the others for getting this particular English correction done, because they feel they feel some kind of low esteem.
Yeah, naturally. But
They might be
feeling bad
PhDs
and
from IITs. I'm sorry, I'm trying to mention the facts.
yeah, true, sir.
So
Absolutely.
they might be PhDs from IITs or ISCs or Anna universities or so universities, but still we have to always keep in mind that we are not native English speakers.
We are all human beings. Are is human.
Yeah, exactly. So we need to accept that, and then we have to try to, you know,
Take the help of
yeah,
people.
take help of either the people who are
Exactly.
good in
Exactly.
English, or maybe take the help of your own friends.
Absolutely, sir. Research is all about
Um, sorry to interrupt here. I would like to say a point. I have a friend, like we have a group actually, and she is from psychology department. But you give her a paper and say this is plagiarized 50% or something, and it has to be reduced to the required percentage within like short time, maybe 2 days to 1 day, like if you say that time, if she's not busy she'll do within 1 day, otherwise she'll do, she will do wonderfully the whole paper. She will change it in such a way that you wouldn't find any percentage of plagiarism. See, like as you said, it's not like only the English teachers or only them. Like the quality or the talent or the skill, if they have, or if they have that mind to do that work, anybody can do.
absolutely.
Exactly.
It's all virtue of practice
And
as well as
here I wanted to point out one thing. During my PhD, when I was writing my thesis, I took the help of my father.
great, great, great.
So my father retired as the director of CSIR.
Yeah,
So he,
you are a
so
giant. Your father is also a giant, and again, stalwart.
so I was telling him, the plagiarism content has to be less than 10. That
Okay.
is the requirement of the university. Then suddenly he said, Shiva, are you bothered if it is less than 3%? I
Wow.
said, Papa, is it possible?
Mm.
Okay, you are trying to challenge me. Let me rewrite your thesis.
Mm.
So he took 2 days, and then he gave me, and then I submitted for the plagiarism check, and then immediately I called him. Ennada, it is 2% or 3%.
Mm.
So that is the kind of why I told this example is there
Yes,
are people,
sincerely.
apart from the English language, as ma'am rightly said,
Yes, sir.
the interest towards uh, the improving their skill, or maybe the interest towards
Siva sir,
helping others.
I want to add one more point.
Yes, Dr.
If
David
people,
sir.
yes, I agree. If people want to rally with their own sense, with their own idea, they should not get involved with plagiarism. If really want to express their view or point, they need to be, whether they are committing mistakes or they may not know English or understand English, they must stick up with the truth. They must stick up with their own idea. Then already you have mentioned that the well-known, well scholars who are around us can come forward to our help. But we should always be our original. That's my point. We cannot be parroting others' word. We should not use or anyway because we are a teacher, we are a scholar. We must produce our own productions, sir. Yes, why not?
Correct, sir. And one more point which I wanted to mention, Saravanan sir, if I can take that liberty.
Please, sir. Go ahead, sir. Yeah.
Sir, because one more thing is nowadays I do not know how many people know this. I'm not sure whether Harish sir is here. Anyways, nowadays most of the journals, like the top journals, when we are trying to self-cite our paper, say for example, I have written one paper, and the other paper is actually an extension of that particular paper. Again,
Good.
most of the journals do not allow this. They say that self-citation might not be allowed. I do not know why they are doing this, but again, so now it is like you have to rewrite your own work. Even in the PhD thesis, even Sir Sarnam sir, I hope you might know this. Self-citation of the work is not allowed.
Not allowed. Not allowed anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So even though you have the paper published in Nature or Elsevier or IEEE Transaction, again during the thesis you need to rewrite that particular work, which is very very difficult, because you already had an idea which was already published, and then writing your own work in a different way, that's terrible.
That's the
So
demand, really.
now, maybe I would request the experts in the forum to address these issues, and maybe a few solutions might actually help the people.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Certainly, we will address this certainly, and we will get input from people as well. And this could be easily achieved by thorough practice, and again keeping an eye on whom we are writing first, especially keeping this readers in mind. Especially the first reader is going to be ourselves. Then again, the second reader is going to be always the reviewer. Third reader would be the proofreader. Let's say the first let's say the proofreader. First one is the we ourselves. Second one is the proofreader, and third one would be this friend or our same field expert. Then it goes to this submission, the level of submission. Again, before it goes to the what is that submission, that writer has to read it again and again. Let's say 5 times, 6 times, 10 times also. We shouldn't be feeling what is that saturated by reading our own papers, because that is how any quality work will be. We should not have this contentment when it comes to what is that writing, because every time we go through the paper, we will have this unsatisfactory mind. That is how this is something like that will help us to fine tune and polish the paper to the next level, that kind of but people, the moment they look at the thing, they will feel really satisfied and gratified. But whereas we need to have this kind of unsatisfactory mind, that will trigger us to go for the that refining the paper and again and again. That is how any perfect we need to perfect at this kind of writing and rewriting skills all the time.
Exactly, sir. Very well said, sir. One more point is, as you had mentioned about the proofreaders and reviewers, there is also a villain in between. That villain is called the editorial scrutiny.
Absolutely.
That is the main villain, because he is behind rejecting papers even for a small reason.
Yeah.
It might be sounding as silly as possible. There might be a rejection due to the goal which has been achieved, that okay, for this particular journal, for this particular issue, sufficient number of papers have been received.
Great.
So there might be even rejections because of that.
And not only this,
and also there might be rejection because of the format.
True, sir.
Especially the document did not meet the format of a journal, or maybe the standard formatting is not being followed. Generally, when we go with
this is the first thing, sir. Sorry to interrupt you, but this is the first thing. Based upon the formats only, the rejections are more.
Correct.
Absolutely.
And generally, whenever we go for any kind of official writing, people suggest that you follow the Times New Roman, text styling.
Font,
font styling. So that is being, accepted worldwide, as a standard text style.
Brilliant, sir. Well said. And again, how this could be easily, surmounted. Otherwise, how this can be tackled, yes, especially writing. Anything, let's say we are communicating to a particular journal, let's say some Elsevier journal, say this Elsevier journal, once we have decided to publish it in particular this Elsevier journal, what we need to do is we need to take a sample paper, and we need to read some papers in that one, and again what has been, and again we need to get familiarized with the pattern. And again, what has been this said in this journal's submission? Let's say this how to go about it. This for the submission there is some criteria. We need to always have this in our mind, and then once we start strictly religiously follow what has been said in this this journal, and again we start following this style, and again formatting, and again fixing everything according to the requirements of the journal, particular journal, and again preferably citing some of the papers which has been let's say the particular journal that is already published journals of the same journal. If we cite some, then people will feel elated, and again easily that paper stands a chance of getting accepted, which means that shows that is the proof, otherwise evidence, that this particular author has read consistently and constantly our journal papers. And again it is something like they also get this citation index increase, and again this again we get acclimatized, otherwise familiar with how this paper, otherwise the journal paper has been written. All these things we will become more familiar, and people will definitely accept this kind of thing. That requires a really religiously we need to follow, and this the format of this particular journal, any chosen journal, whether it is Elsevier, otherwise let's say Web of Science, otherwise even Scopus Index journals, whatever it is, first and foremost thing is, otherwise even Thomson Reuters, you name any kind of publication, otherwise Willy, you name anything. We need to, if we are going for one particular journal, we need to get familiar with the pattern of the pattern of writing, and again citation, what is the citation they like, and the font size, and again indexing everything, and again inch by inch, and again spacing, and again everything we need to get clear about this thing. Because, and especially the style of writing, most important thing is the style, and that is something like the style and the flow. Unless and until we get ourselves familiar with this, some of the papers, let's say some 20 to 30 papers, my ideal suggestion would be, if we are supposing we are going for a particular journal, means take some 20-30 papers from that journal, and again get the best of the best papers, and again read them through, and again write a what is that, review paper, or a short communication for that journal. Then you go for a bigger paper, that will know step by step we will also become familiar with the thing, and again then we will develop a rapport by short communication, and again mid communication, and a lengthy one. That is how we can make it really happen, and we can become a successful writer of a research paper. Let me stop here, because the floor is to be handed over for the next table talk. I am so sorry, and if you allow me, I will keep
Saravanan sir,
yes.
can I give a suggestion to Shiva sir? It's because I'm sorry, he mentioned here that it's very difficult for others to rewrite our own work. But from my experience, let me say here, that's not that much difficult for us, in fact. Of course, we have to have in mind only the ideas. When we have in mind only the ideas, then we could frame any number of sentences. Not the same, it won't sound same, it won't look same. So there are possibilities.
It
Once
is
if we start writing so many papers, then it's easy for us to write anything. Even I cited my own paper, not cited, rewrote my own research, which
possible,
I did.
possible, but it requires
Ma'am, Shivagami ma'am, thanks for your suggestions.
sir. Sivagami ma'am is a stalwart, sir. She published more number of
No,
papers,
sir, no,
and
sir. No, sir. I'm like it all. That's all.
that is absolutely
Sir,
possible.
I could understand from her talk.
Yes. Everyone is learning. Children,
Sivagami is from Chennai campus, sir. Chennai campus of ours.
Chennai, sir. Thank you.
So
Thank you so much.
absolutely possible, ma'am, and it requires continuous and continuous and consistent practice.
Saravanan sir, my guide asked me to write something. Even after many years of experience, I started doing my PhD at the age of 50 only. Even then, my guide asked, along with the other students, I was supposed to write something on any topic daily. So even in the bus, because I spent some 2.5 hours I did my PhD at Bharatiyar University. So almost I was in Etimadai. But university, you all know that it's in near Mardamalai. So 2.5 hours I was in the bus only. But I wrote on something daily, and he was so surprised to see all my work. It's because my father was a professor of English. That's an added advantage for me. He brought home so many books, so I kept on reading, writing. So even from my 10th standard, even before that, I started writing. So it's a practice. That's all. Matter of practice. Then it
Well,
becomes easy for every one of us.
and it is something like a rigorous practice, and again, consistently and constantly, we are at it, man, we can achieve it. That is true.
Of
And
course.
especially Shivakami madam is a proof for this kind of practice, I would say.
Of course, I'm like you all. That's all. Different stuff. Thank you.
Shavanan, and good evening to all of you, the rest of the people. Writing makes make it a man exact man, make
That's
us
what.
exact.
Yeah,
Rigorous, very difficult, very few people achieve to write excellently, because they need to retrospect many things, go learn, write choice of words, write phraseology, and write construction at the same time. Appeal to the readers also. Unless you undergo yourself a rigorous training,
that is what Shiva sir was telling, Sivaramakrishnan sir was telling
then
exactly.
I have seen many professors throwing away the thesis after it has been done, because they're not satisfied with either the language nor the content also. See how rigorous they are.
True, sir.
My
True.
wife worked under a professor, a linguist professor at Venkateswara University.
Oh,
He's very particular. Of course, he's very careful right from the beginning. He has been guiding us. My wife has done her PhD on Guruzad Apparao. He's like Bharatiya.
wow, wow.
She has asked him. He has asked her to go to the place where he was born, Vijayanagaram,
Mm.
and collected all the information, Rayavaram and all the information,
Yes.
and take the photographs, and has guided her to write the articles in the newspapers, and he's with them.
Yeah.
And he has sent to some people and asked them to give the shelter for because she is a lady,
Mm.
and she has collected very and they did not charge in those days.
Correct, correct.
She has incurred only, if I say 200 rupees, that's all for the entire research.
It's
For the fee and for the typing, everything 200 rupees only.
yeah, unbelievable. Yes. Mm.
And all the professors, that professor and some professors, they were of my father-in-law was of a lower middle class people. But all the professors came to their house for dinner and squatted on the floor and then had their lunch and then went off. How
Wow.
magnanimous they are.
Great, great, great. That shows their real magnanimity, sir. Really.
And we are speaking about research. Sir, research is adding something that has been not explored,
Mm.
and looking at the new dimensions and adding knowledge to new knowledge, perhaps. That is research. One has to be very innovative. Unless we are innovative, we can't do certain things. Always it's the passion. Passion. At no point of time should a teacher or a research scholar lose his passion. Once he is lost, he can't do that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, and thank you, Chandrasekhar sir, for your wonderful input. I must stop here and hand over the session to this table talk. Sorry, I'm so extremely sorry for this slack and sticking to the time. Please forgive me.
Hello.
And this is the time to hand over.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, madam. Good evening, everyone, and sorry for any sort of inconvenience.
No inconvenience, Alokji. You are
And
most
sir, I also want to add something to this ongoing conversation before the table talk. And good evening to Dr. Malti madam. She is all set to comments the table talk. Actually, sir, self-plagiarism is often considered as self-citation is always considered as the self-plagiarism, right, sir? And I am also thankful to Dr. Shiva, sir, for his informative ideas in this regard. So, we can also suggest both research scholars and the academicians to go for the citations from the research papers that got published in peer-reviewed journals and edited books. It would be a nice idea in this regard. Generally, even for a particular thesis, a PhD research scholar is never encouraged to go for the citations from journal, means research papers or critical articles that got published in edited books, sir. So please say something in this regard, sir.
Certainly, no, that anything and everything relevant can be cited, and again, no, that could be brought in to the light of the, let's say, when we write for research papers, it is relevant, and even for thesis writing also, it's wonderful.
Besides the primary and secondary sources, we must think about the tertiary sources like papers, critical papers, authentic critical papers on any domain of English language and literature.
True, true, true. Well, your idea is well taken, and thank you so much. And again,
okay, sir.
And again, now we will leave this again, hand over the session to our the stalwarts of this day, that is Professor Nagakala Madam and Dr. Malti Sharma ji, and again Professor Sivaji, and again Harish Chandra sir and Chandrasekhar sir, all the elite and learned colleagues, Alok ji, Saroj Bala Madam and Valli Madam, all I request all these elite and learned colleagues to take it forward. And we have Mr. Sagala Stanley from Zambia also, who has joined here, and welcome you all. And again, even Dr. Sivakami ma'am, everybody is welcome to take part in this table talk on this teaching, learning, and research, writing for research. Over to you all, and especially I hand over the session to Dr. Malti Sharma ji to kickstart this discussion. Thank you, ma'am. Hearty welcome to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sharan sir, and a hearty welcome. And I'm sorry I'm late today because of some official commitments.
You are most welcome. Not at all.
So, today has been a very different evening for me. So I was just wanting to make an entry in time. So yes, welcome, Ma'am Nagakala, Ma'am, she president and the leader of the team.
Just as a friend, that's enough.
Yes, yes. So we have already been talking about better teaching and learning, and today we have an added dimension of research as well. Yeah. So like yesterday, for the past 2 days, we have been talking about teaching and learning, and we have addressed certain problems and challenges. So that helps us to know the current situation and real-time problem and real-time solution. So in case there is some problem or some challenge somebody is facing, let us invite that question.
Yeah, actually, what I was thinking is, I was reading an article. I think Dr. Shiva will help us in this small help. Okay, what I was reading is, the teachers wanted to innovate some new ideas. I mean, of course, it's become old. It might have become old now. So they were trying to show with action, like something like goes flies like this. They're showing with hand like this, up and down and all that. It's that action if they show, and they were trying to ask the students, "What is this? Can you name them?" And these students were like, they are from Germany and they are speaking German. So, what do you say that word in German language? I mean, Jewish.
Ma'am, it's been almost 36 years since I've been in Germany, so I have no idea about what that particular word might be, but only a few words I could recollect.
Few words you could recollect, huh? Mm-hmm. Wait, I'll put in the chat that word. I think it's actually. We were trying to talk about, one second. Yeah, I'll put it here. Got it? It's actually aeroplane. So why I was trying to say this is, I don't know the correct pronunciation. Maybe I might be wrong because I am not a German speaker, English speaker. So why I was trying to say this is because when teachers are from different language and they are teaching the language, actually I can say my experience also, what will be the difficulties, how will you train the students, or what research activities or research strategies will you apply in the class. You know, like this in when I first went to Middle East countries, I happened to, they first took us to one, they wanted us to give training to the teachers who are Arabs and who are teaching their kids. So their well, like, you know, they were trying to show actions, and they were trying to show pictures, and they were trying to get the words from them, and then sorry, so they were trying to show the pictures, or they were showing actions and trying to get the word in Arabic and then trying to tell them in English. So this kind of strategy, when you follow, you know, probably that, I mean, this is one of the, I mean, this might be the old one, as I told you. So like this, research strategies must be there in teaching and learning. Otherwise, you know, we will even though sometimes we say it is old idea, but we can put it in a new way. That is old wine in new bottle. So the if you make all the, you know, we have 5 minutes activity books, like, you know, we have a lot of activities which we are trying, or which we are using it in recent days in a different form, in a different way, and in different, I mean, to different levels of students. So what happened is, when in my case, one girl, we asked her, where is your book? She wanted to say that her book is eaten by a goat. And very nicely, she took out all the pages and she showed us the picture of the goat. And she said, like, she had made an action that it has eaten. And of course, we had to take a few minutes to understand what she's trying to convey us. And then we understood, and then we tried to help her to say the sentence in English. So like this, probably we have to use some different strategies while we are teaching to different levels of students. With this, I would like to put forth the forum, the ideas, and there we can, I mean, we welcome your ideas or your points on this.
Ma'am, Nakalam, one important point here is German is such an easy language to learn because the way you write, the way you pronounce, except for the word we and except for the word f, because these words are pronounced in an alternate way. Say, for example, if I want to pronounce the word we, it is pronounced as f. So that is the reason why we don't say Volkswagen, it's Volkswagen. And also F, say for example, if I'm writing father, it is water. Ma'am, you're muted.
That is what happens in Arabic also. What happens, they don't have F, fa. Okay, so when I say five, they make it as five. Like va and fa, they have a confusion. I mean, of course, ba and pa also, they have a confusion. So like this, I know Volkswagen, wagon and all. You know, we have some words which we have to pronounce like this and all that.
Ma'am, again, there is a confusion between W and V in German. W is pronounced as V. So it is not BMW, it is BMW.
Yeah, correct.
So,
We had in
so
a,
Just
we
we say
had a
BMW.
clipping in WhatsApp,
Okay.
like how should we pronounce these words?
Ma'am, actually, when you're talking about the language, when you're teaching to other people who are not native English language, let it be Germans or let it be Arabic people. Again, let me come back to the point where you were saying that, we need to have a connect between their mother tongue and the English language. So let us put that point again and have a maybe a
Yeah,
minute
I mean, this
discussion
I
on that.
just, yeah, correct, you're correct. This I just gave an example of other languages, but in India, it happens the same. So the situation, because if a Tamilian goes to UP or somewhere, or Gujarat or Mizoram or some that place, and they don't know the language, how will they convey?
Ma'am, actually, the beauty about let it be French or let it be Spanish or let it be Deutsch, the beauty is the letters are written in English.
Yeah.
So,
Pronunciation is different, no?
No, pronunciation, ma'am, the way you write a word, the way you pronounce it. Say, for example,
Actually,
the
even
word.
in French, you have that some 5 letters, I think. I've
No,
not.
ma'am, French is completely different because French you pronounce it in a very, very different way. Say, for example, there was a show. I do not know whether you might be familiar about it. It was something with Simi Agrawal. So during my childhood, school days, I used to see that show. And then my mom asked me, "What show are you seeing?" I was like, "Rendezvous with Simi Agarwal." My mom was like, she knows French, so she was like, "What? Ma, rendezvous with Simi Agarwal?" No, it is not rendezvous. It is rendezvous.
Random. Because after the vowel sounds, the letters are not pronounced. Even the when we say Renault, it's not Renault, it's Renault.
Correct.
Yeah, like that. So that's how even this. I mean, even in Hindi or Gujarati or Marathi might be like that.
Correct, ma'am. So, I mean, my point is each language has its own kind of structure, and certain languages have, very base structure compared to Sanskrit. For example, most of the Russian words have the derivative from Sanskrit because a mother, father is called as matra, pitra. So this is in Russian.
Even Deutsch, I believe.
Correct, ma'am.
Ma'am,
I don't know if
okay.
I don't know if I can chip in.
Can I suggest you one thing, ma'am? There is one learning app.
Yes, of course.
At VIT Chennai, the professor of German, she uses that learning app. Even I too use for my students to teach English. But other languages, that will be far better, I feel, because there we could add videos, audio, anything, whatever we want. If, written work, it could be audio, it could be video, it could be. We can edit even particular part of it. We could edit even using that app itself. In that app, we have to download and then we have to edit. It's very easy to do that also. If you want, I will help you to get that idea.
Yeah, thank you so much. Actually, what I was I mean, we welcome your idea. What I was trying to say is this: nowadays the technology has improved. So since the days, like we are trying to use nowadays, like because as we have visual learners and different kinds of learners, we are trying to use all these things. And nowadays we are, first we would say don't use mobiles, but now we are insisting on mobiles and all. So
Then you might have heard about work, ma'am. VARK, work. and visual, audio, whatever the mode of learning, we have to satisfy all our students. So this lab like these will be far better, and it will be very helpful for us also. So I'll help you to get the link.
Yes, yes.
I'm myself using that. That's
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks for your ideas also.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hello. I don't know if I
Yes,
can say
sir.
something.
Yes.
Uh, yes, thank you so much. As you may be aware that these languages they differ in the way certain words are being pronounced. Some words are being silent at a certain environment because of the environment at which they are in. For example, English itself, the sound uh, in a different environment may be pronounced differently because of the environment in which they have been placed in. So when we are looking at it, individual languages, we have to be very careful how that particular word and that letter is being pronounced. So the issue of phonology and phonetics is very paramount, where we use the issue of up and how that the structure of that particular language is all about is being should be studied, so that we don't pronounce those words wrongly. But you know, when you are playing with words, it's very interesting, and you tend to love the study of language, and you play with words, and that's where the research comes in, so that you become an expert. For example, in African languages, when you talk about Chinyanja in itself, the sound of each letter is the same, it's constant, whatever environment that particular letter has been placed into. But when you make a comparative analysis to English, it's totally different. So what we normally do as teachers, we first teach our learners, our younger learners, the phonetic awareness in our mother tongue. Thereafter, we transfer that skill into a foreign language, which is English in this case. Or here, learners, the sound is like this. But when it is placed in this environment, the sound of this letter changes because of X, Y, and Z. Through that, we have seen that our learners in schools, they do progress very well and be able to have the phonetic skills and be able to read and write correctly in a foreign language, and tend to do better even in writing. That's what I wanted to comment on. Thank you so much.
Very good, sir. Because as we are all from different languages, we need to take out our strategies and the need of the students to help the students to learn a language.
Ma'am, again, here, one more point, as Mr. Stanley mentioned, even in the English language itself, there are certain words which are actually pronounced in a certain way. Maybe there is a difference. Say, for example, few people pronounce the word THE in a different way. Some people pronounce as the, some people pronounce as the.
The.
So there is
No. There is the two pronunciations are
Based on the context.
both the pronunciations are
Yeah,
correct.
correct. That's what I'm trying to say. So, as Mr. Stanley said, it depends on the context. So, so again, different different languages goes with when we are trying to go with any kind of document writing, we try to check out the context and then try to adjust the appropriate words into it.
So, in this respect, when we learn language and teach language, there is a concept, and that concept is that between the giver and the recipient, if the communication has been established well, then it is a perfect communication, irrespective of right and wrong. Whether it is they, whatever it is. if the speaker has spoken and the listener has understood it in the same context in which it was supposed to be delivered. So because language changes every 50 kilometers. And this was when I learned as a student. And today I don't know, because language changes with every app, language changes with every tool, language changes with every fashion, language changes with the social media. So today actually language is on a blind road, running nowhere, running everywhere. So this is something that we need to take care of, especially when we are talking about academics. When we are talking about academics, because our purpose is to talk about students and research. So in that case, we have to be very particular about communicating and delivering the message. Because in our times, it was considered bad manners to use abbreviations. We never wrote you, Y-O-U, right? And there was no thumbs up or something like that. Thumbs up was thenga. And a very derogatory sign. And today it is a balle balle. So, see, it is very difficult. It is very difficult to label these things now. So, the wise thing to do is that between the teacher and the taught, if communication has been established on an academic or an intellectual level, then it's fine. Because we have no way of proving what's right and what's wrong. So this is what we see happening, and it is a real-time situation. So probably this is all we can all do about it.
Maltima, to add a point in that, when we are talking about language, there is again people actually tend to use accent. So they have different accents. They feel that adding on an accent, they feel that they are very good speakers, but which is not true.
I agree.
Even if a person is just gone for
please, sir, sorry for
at
interruption.
least a month,
Somayaji, sir.
he tries
Sorry
to.
for interruption. Okay. Okay, can I say something?
Yes, sir.
Hello? Yes. The which accent is now going to be, accepted by everyone, the literary world? Tell me, sir.
Could you repeat, sir?
No, I didn't understand, sir.
Could you repeat your question?
Accent. Yes, pronunciation. Now, sorry, talking about pronunciation, You are talking about accent, it's like, sir, it's like utterances of our word or speaking straight. You are talking about speaking straight.
Sir, that is the US accent and UK accent. No, you're talking about US and UK accent.
Oh.
Different kinds of accents.
Which one? Yeah, sir. Which one will be accepted and reliable one and suggestible to all? Please, sir.
Everything is accepted because we don't say now English. We don't say English. We don't say English. We say Englishes.
No, ma'am. I don't agree.
Yes, I'll come to that point. David Crystal had come to our.
Sorry, sir. I'm not knowing this subject. Just like that, want to know Somayaji. Please, sir. I just put this question. Okay.
Sir, no problem.
It's very relevant, Jagannath sir. It is very relevant.
Don't be. I'm intruding your thought.
No.
ஒரு எயில் அரசு இன்டரப்ட் பண்ணதுக்கு பக்கா உரிமை இருக்கு சார்.
எனக்கு ஆங்கில ஞானம் போதாது. என்னுடைய தமிழ் அறிவை வைத்துக் கொண்டு நான் ஆங்கிலம் பெற்றுக் கொள்கிறேன்.
It is okay. Your question is very much relevant to the context.
Yeah, it is very relevant.
No, again, the point is Sir, Srinivasa sir.
Srinivas Babu wants
Yes,
to say
sir.
something.
Let me join myself again. Hello. Let me join myself again. Okay.
So, just I listen to you all.
Please, sir, everyone can come and share. Share your view, please.
All kind of try to follow what strategy we use, what methodology we use, but one thing we remember is that that's why our language teaching should be intelligible to the students, whether the receiver or not. Basically,
Sir, your voice is not audible properly, hearable, sir.
Srinivasa sir, I think your voice is having some...
There is an echo, sir. There is an echo.
Do you hear me now? Hello?
It's clear, it's clear, sir. It's clear.
Yeah, now okay. Now okay.
Okay.
Yes.
So what to say that whatever method we use, whatever strategy we use, whether the student or receiver understand or not. But that's why George Bernard said what he said, our language should be intelligible. We are talking pronunciation and some hours together. But at the same time, previously one of our colleagues mentioned, you see, I think that I'm good at English, I'm good at pronunciation. The self-certificate is invalid. Because people may understand, also rightly pointed out, and other persons also rightly pointed out. We use the strategy, we use even research also. What is happening here is, you see, I did research on a particular thing, but that paper or book was sent to a person who is that. But this is good or not. So everything is being changed as far as the changing things are concerned. What justification to the song ability to do it. Even engineering college, what is happening today? I'm sorry to mention. We focus on pronunciation. What about the content? That's very important. It's useful to students. Thank you very much for giving this opportunity.
Very well said, Dr. Srinivas Babu, because yes, content is very important rather than the pronunciation or the accent or what. That comes later. But content, if they know the concept, if they have understood the content, then they will come to. They can improve the other parts of the other aspects of the language. What I was trying to say is, as Jagannathan sir was saying, yeah. Yes, sir.
Sir, Srinivas sir, go on.
Madam, I would like another thing. Yes, when we simply teach something, when I went to the class, English class, most of the teachers are talking about English grammar. So if we talk about English grammar, no student will learn because most of the students are afraid of learning grammar first. We involve the students with create some atmosphere. General issues, teacher letting gradually draw the attention of the students. Then we people make them to learn grammar. But even spoken institutions also, they simply have been teach grammar. Teaching of grammar is from vocal as far as my is concerned. Thank you, madam.
Srinivas, I would like to speak speak to you on two things. One thing is the previous one, which I couldn't listen very properly because your voice was breaking. But as much as I could listen and as much as I can say about it, is that if the content, the concept, and the context, these three things, if they are established well, then comprehension will be clear. So, irrespective of the accent, irrespective of the background, which has so many dimensions. You may belong to a certain area, you may belong to a certain country, you may have your own individual preferences, you may have your own lacuna, whatever. If the concept is clear, if the content is clear, and if the context in which the communication is being established is clear, then even the accent does not matter. Suppose a Bengali person speaks to us and we get to know, then in spite of that irregularity, I'm using the word irregularity because the word is the accent is not very regular for us. Then too, we are comfortable with the communication. So this is where accent can be dropped. So this is one thing I wanted to say. And then the second thing is that people are scared about grammar. Is this what you were saying, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Sir has told that yes.
I think so. I too heard students have a.
Yes.
Yes. Because the voice was breaking, and I could not get the message. So I just wanted to know whether I'm taking in the question.
Yeah, he was asking. He was mentioning that the students have a fear of learning grammar.
So actually, grammar being taught as grammar is something very. I would call it funny because we never learned grammar. I don't remember having ever learned grammar. So, and there are many of us who would agree that grammar came to us automatically. We never learned grammar.
Yes.
So, because we got the atmosphere, we got the background, we got the opportunity to share, and like in the past 1.5 months, we have seen Jagannath sir taking in that huge.
I am the finest example of. I am the finest example.
Yes, and my AK-57 points towards you, sir. That you have. Yes, thank you. So you have really, I have seen that difference in you. Because I saw you at the early stage and I see you today. So, see, this is, it is coming to you automatically. There is no tuition, there is no practice, there is no learning by rote, nothing at all. And like, we have seen.
I need to give tuition fees for Welcome Forum.
Yes.
Tuition fee to Welcome Forum, yes.
Yes, sir, exactly. So see, it has come to you. Now, your input has been great by attending all the sessions, by speaking as much as you could, and by building your confidence. Because I remember when you were scared of speaking, you should pardon me because you are a student in front of me and you are the subject of today's topic. And then you are in front of AK-57.
I am a still student of all of you.
Yes,
I am very little. I am a very little fellow.
So, see, it has come to